Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Roll call, Mrs. Burns, please.
Mr. Congdon?
Here.
Ms. Boyle?
Here.
Mr. Burnett?
Here.
Mr. Feather?
Present.
Mrs. Hallenbeck?
Present.
Mr. Mora is absent with prior notice. Mr. Parentano?
Present.
Mr. Rudy?
Here.
Mr. Sullivan?
Present.
Quorum is present.
Thank you, Mrs. Burns. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. Prior to this meeting, the board met in executive session this evening to discuss matters of employment, issues related to labor relations, and potential or current litigation. Any announcements, Mrs. Burns?
No announcements.
No announcements. Superintendent's report. Mr. Jones, please.
All right, welcome back to the official start of the school year. We had enrollment numbers that we attach typically to the work session. And so you can compare last June's to this September's. You'll see that at least right now, before the numbers all shake out, we're about 100, 150 students up from where we ended last year. But we still have a number of things that will happen these first weeks of September in terms of people maybe who haven't disenrolled students yet who still are carried on our books. So we'll watch that number, but it looks like we're maintaining, if not growing, slightly. The high school has a opportunity again to host for the second year a regional event to honor local veterans and first responders this Saturday, September 16th. They're partnering with the Barkan Foundation, local military and first responders to host the Day We Remember Walk and Run. It's the second year, as I said, that this is happening. So come out this Saturday. You can register right there. If you haven't done in advance, you can go online and register in advance, but you can also sign up at 7:15 a.m. And the run is at 8 o'clock. They don't say when the walk is, but I'm assuming you can walk at that time as well. Michael Barkan, Brian Westbrook, the Phillies fanatic. It's a fun morning, Saturday morning, 7:15 for registration, 8 o'clock for the run. We have a student here at Maple Point, Megan Garabrandt, she's a sixth grader this year, and she was named the third place overall grand prize winner in the Library of Congress National Book Festival Summer Writing Contest nationally. So she actually had a trip to Washington, D.C. She went through the Bucks County Free Library in Langhorne, the Langhorne branch, for her submission. And her essay was selected, so that was nice, and the school here honored her with recognition. On a not-so-nice note, at our Herbert Hoover School recently, we've had an unfortunate circumstance of some graffiti, racial graffiti, as well as some vandalism, both at the school as well as in a neighboring neighborhood. That happened last month. The Middletown Township group also coordinated a public forum that we had some people participate in. It was led by the Peace Center. And the reason I speak about it is because the Peace Center is actually coordinating on behalf of a lot of groups, the school district included, a walk tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. So the walk is entitled Speak Up for Peace, March Against Hate. That walk is scheduled for 7 o'clock tomorrow evening to start at the Herbert Hoover School to walk to the nearby neighborhood. Police are closing off the road. And then there will be another community forum September 28th. That's at 7 o'clock, and that's back at Middletown Township's municipal building. So the school is doing some things in district as well to work as best we can, and we appreciate the support and join the community as a whole. I want to point out in my report also, and then we've made advertisement for the fact that there are some parent universities that have happened and will be happening. September 19th, there's an afternoon and an evening session here at Maple Point here for all elementary school parents who would be interested in getting some information about our new progress report system for this upcoming school year. So information is available on the website. Information will be shared with you by the elementary principals, but this is another opportunity to have some direct contact with individuals talking about the changes. On the personnel front, I want to tell you about a couple of things as well. Just want to make sure I thank our custodians and our maintenance crews for the work they've done this summer. It's always a lot that happens behind the scenes. People think schools are shut down and closed. Not a lot's happening over summer, but that group has done a wonderful job getting all 10 of our school buildings ready to go, as well as our secretarial and support staff who ready correspondence and provide critical support to get each and every one of these buildings up and ready to receive students. And I want to thank our administrators, too. They're working through, a lot of times we're asked, what do we do in the summertime? But there's a lot of work that's done to prepare to make sure that we have successful school years. And so I thank all of those groups for the summer work that they've done. I do point out in my report that we have a really nice wellness program here in the district. The HR department coordinates that, and a woman by the name of Karen Morrow really is a champion for wellness and employee wellness, and she has some wonderful statistics about how many people participate in that program. It makes good sense for employers to look out for and encourage good employee health, and we appreciate the work of Ms. Morrow and the success she's had, and the Wellness Committee in the district for that. And then finally, I wanted to talk about a new recognition that we're trying to provide any individual in district who is supporting the district mission. Our mission's an important focus for the good work that we do here in the school, as well as anybody who is working to support our district strategic plan. Our strategic plan really is a way for our mission to be improved, to be lived by the people here in district. And so what we've done is we've created a new recognition. This is called the We Build Futures Award. It's a little hard hat. It says Neshaminy School District. And so you get this recognition if you are nominated, if someone is indicating that they feel like you're living up to and really championing one of those two things, either the school district's mission or the strategic plan. So already, to kick off this school year, there are people leading our implementation teams for the 3 different strands of our strategic plan. So Bob Baffa, Mary Beth Tisi, Beth McGinty, Rob McGee, Anthony Devlin, Barbara Markowitz, Peg Monahan, and Joe Risho were the first recipients of this recognition. And then at our opening convocation, the following individuals were recognized, nominated, and in front of 600-plus faculty members, we were able to thank Lisa Pennington, Neshaminy High School Assistant Principal, Kathy Alfred, third-grade teacher at Walter Miller Elementary School, Steve McAloon, our staff development and data specialist for the district, Janice Messinger, a special ed teacher at Fertibar, Bill Barnes, social studies teacher at Pequesson, Kathy Christie, Director of Technology for the school district, and Dr. Gloria Hancock, Assistant Superintendent. And so I want to just thank each of them and congratulate them for being people who definitely keep that We Build Futures motto alive. They live it, and they really support the district across the board. And so I actually also handed or placed in front of each board member one of these pins as well, because people don't know, they don't recognize the amount of time, the volunteer work that goes into being a board member. I want to thank them as a school superintendent for the work and support that they provide me, but more importantly for the work and the time, the energy, the commitment, and the serious focus that they give to the school district here at Neshaminy. And so each of the members of the board now are added to that list. And so I thank them, and we look forward to recognizing more people this year. Thank you so much. My next, I think I move right into presentations?
Sure.
Okay.
We were all sitting in executive session wondering what that was about.
Oh, our district, we do have a district report attached to our public work meetings always, and so this month it's our HR report from Mrs. Hinterberger, and so that's attached as well and available on board docs for people. Our presentation this evening is an opportunity for us to kind of recap for the board all the good work that happens in the summertime. And so I want to thank Mr. Stanley again. Whenever you see video, you know that Mr. Stanley is somewhere behind the scenes responsible for, probably capturing as well as putting it together for us. So we have a little video that's going to start off this presentation, and then different individuals from our administrative staff are going to also step forward, and our one teacher to indicate some of the detail behind the programs.
I'm going to try the porridge from the medium-sized bowl. Goldilocks tries a spoonful of Mama Bear's porridge. This porridge is ice cold. I'm going to try the porridge from the small bowl.
All the language learners got a chance to be together as one group, and they knew all of them were here for this same purpose, and they got to spend, which they, during the school year, they don't get to do that. They got to spend 3.5 hours every day with the same goal. They get to speak the language, experience the language, listen, and we didn't focus as much on writing, more on speaking and listening and also reading.
The PASS program stands for Planned Activity Stimulates Success. So the summer here, we do a lot of things with the kids in school. That includes work in the classroom with their math packets, English work. We have social group work where we talk about how to handle problems that are going to come up during the school year. And then we have the rock wall, which we talk about, setting goals and reaching goals and kind of pushing themselves, encouraging each other, communicating with each other.
And the program is a multi-level program that teaches the basics of robotics, computer programming, and the engineering process. It's a 5-day program where students come in for 3 hours, and each day they learn the different processes that go into engineering and design.
They're learning about the presence of hair at a crime scene and what a forensics investigator would do with that hair, how to examine it, what to look for. They learned that hair, contrary to belief, does not always contain DNA, and they're learning how to use a microscope.
So we have a team for each grade, for grade 1 and grade 5, and each team does reading and math. Students are recommended by their teachers, and it's our job to make sure they're able to maintain their skills going into the next grade level. It is about 4 weeks, Monday through Friday, and they spend an hour and a half with reading, and then they go to math for an hour and a half.
I have definitely seen improvement in their skills in math, and they also feel more confident and more excited to do things. Once we establish a routine, they are excited to come every day and do all the fun activities we have planned for them.
Nice job, Mr. Stanley. And we have a group of people here ready to tell you just a little bit about each of those programs. And so I think first up, Jane King, your name's first. Thank you so much. You can, right up here, yes, please.
There we go. Sorry. I'm the coordinator for Summer Fine Arts, so I was the one who was involved with 107 of our main stage production students and 81 of our workshop. They did the Peter Pan. We did Anything Goes. It was our largest numbers we have had in years. We were so excited to have that many kids involved. We had some exciting new things that happened this year. We had 4 Broadway actors come down, talk to our kids prior to the show. They stayed for the show. They went to the cast party. They met with them. They talked to them about what it's like to get on Broadway, how hard they've had to work, and they really inspired some of our kids to make sure they keep living their dream. It was really an exciting time. The program has been in this district for over 53 years. It's started by Ted Cluse. We're just trying to keep the tradition going and making it better every year. We already have our shows for next year, but I cannot tell you because we're doing a big reveal in October, which we will do at Shady Brook Farms, and all the kids come and we do riddles and give them hints, and then they have to guess what the shows are going to be. So that's pretty exciting for them. We also have been involved the last 2 years in the Middletown Township July 4th Parade. This year we were asked to be one of the singing groups, and next year I think we'll be doing the national anthem as well, but we sang God Bless America. So it was a very nice honor for us to be asked to do that, and again, continually being brought back. The strategic plan, I wanted to say how it connects to our strategic plan. It fits in with our strand number 2, which is community relationships. We work really hard with the community. We get sponsors from the community. We invite them in. For instance, Scrappy's Auto was our flatbed who helped us with our parade. So they were very helpful. The Rotary helps us out. There's just one group after another that just reach out to us as well. So it's very exciting. And the kids try to give back as well. So it's a good thing for all of the kids. So again, it was a great time. I hope you continue to support it. I know the kids are already very excited about next year. Thank you. Thank you for your support.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jan. Next up is Peg Monahan and the STEM Academy.
Hi. Good evening. I'm Peg Monahan, Curriculum Supervisor for STEM Education. We had a series of STEM camps this summer. We've continued on with our robotics camp, which has been very popular over the last couple of years. We had about 80 students participate in robotics over a 4-week period. New this year was CSI Neshaminy. And in this forensic science course, the students learned about toxicology, fiber analysis, fingerprints, and DNA. And they used their critical thinking skills to solve a mystery. So the students, it was well attended and very popular with the students. In fact, there was a request for a continuation next year. And I like to briefly read part of a letter that a parent had sent in. So a parent had 2 daughters at the camp this summer. So each day they told me about the progress they made in solving the case of who stole the teacher's cookies. The girls were also excited to share their own fingerprints and mouth impressions that were made. I really enjoyed watching the excitement that my girls shared getting ready for bed on Thursday night. They could not wait to get to camp on Friday morning to find out who done it. Finally, I was shocked to see the folder of work that came home on Friday with all the lab work that was done. I couldn't believe the girls did so much work in a 5-day, half-day session of camp. Marissa just woke up on this Saturday summer morning and started rattling off facts about DNA. So it was really a terrific and fun camp, and students really got to learn about so many different aspects of science in a fun way. So we're hoping to expand those programs next year.
Thanks, Peg. Next up is Paul Mahoney, and he's going to speak about our Summer Pass program.
Good evening. I'm Paul Mahoney, Supervisor of People Services. Our Summer Pass program this year is in its 24th year, and we served 57 middle school students under the supervision of 7 staff members, including teachers, a social worker, 1 school counselor, a school psychologist, and myself. Additionally, 3 Neshaminy High School student leaders who are Summer Pass alumni served as junior counselors in assisting with the program. The goals of Summer Pass are to improve students' academic and social skills through class activities, career and college exploration, social and recreational activities. Students participate in Adventure Challenge courses and team building activities. They also receive classroom instruction to strengthen math, reading, and writing skills. Also, educational field trips enhance the learning experience. This program ran for 15 days, June 26th through July 20th at Neshaminy High School. The trips this year included the Philadelphia Art Museum to explore the arts, Bucks County Community College to explore career and college exploration. We went down to the Lincoln Financial Field for its design and commitment to green energy. Also went to Tyler State Park for canoeing, hiking, and a very nice end of the program celebration. One of the nice things is Summer Pass operates at absolutely no cost to the district. We received over $23,000 in generous grants this year from the Bucks County Commissioners, Children and Youth Services, Giant Food Stores, Lower Southampton Township, Lower Southampton Rotary, and Middletown Community Foundation. Families also kick in $50 per child. One thing new this year, we're planning to involve Summer Pass students, and this was an idea from the Middletown Community Foundation to get the kids involved. We're recruiting students now to volunteer and participate in Middletown Community Foundation's upcoming 5-mile run. We're also planning a fundraiser to benefit the foundation, and we really believe that the students will benefit from giving back to these community organizations that have given to our Summer Pass program for so many years. The program's clearly aligned with the district's strategic plan, specifically Strand 2's community activities and social and emotional support, also Strand 3's new revenue and alternatives to traditional school activities. During this school year, we really look forward to planning the 2018 and 25th annual Summer Pass program. Thank you.
Thanks, Paul. Next up is Bob Baffa, Supervisor of English Language Arts Literacy, and he will be talking about the Summer Intensive Language Lab program.
Good evening, everybody. I am here to report on the Summer Intensive Language Lab. The supervisor for this program was really Mary Beth Tisi. She was the one who put all this together. She could not be here tonight, so I am here in her stead. And I want to say that I observed these classes several times, and it was amazing how much fun every one of the students were having and how engaged they were. This was the first year that this Summer Intensive Language Lab program was made available to our English language development students. This program had 42 student participants in grades 1 through 12. They met at Maple Point for 5 weeks straight, from 8:30 in the morning to or 8 to 11:30 in the morning. Instruction was provided by certified English as second language educators, and they used adaptive technology so that they could improve their English skills through grades 1 through 4 through Imagine Learning, and through grades 5 through 12, they were using Rosetta Stone. And these programs are unique in that they are adaptive, and they allow our students to advance at their own pace. Some of the highlights for this particular program is that the students participated in readers theater. They got to practice speaking and act out. You did see a piece of that on the video that Chris provided us with. They also got to have a fire truck come and visit them, and they explored the fire truck and had a meet and greet with the firemen, which they found very interesting. In addition, secondary students went to Pendel Lanes to go bowling. This was probably, for some of them, the first bowling experience that they had in their lives. What I really find interesting and nice to report on, and it really comes in line with our All People Have Worth, laughter, joy, and hope are essential for a quality life. Families reported that their children came to school every day and were excited to come to school, to the point where they did not want to go home. They were provided with a level of instruction and engagement that made them feel comfortable and made them feel good about themselves. This program also fits into our academic choice, Strand 1, where we're providing students with opportunities to demonstrate mastery in non-traditional ways. In a nutshell, the program provided our students with continued support to develop English language skills, but it also provided them with experiences within the community, as well as an opportunity to learn while having fun. Thank you.
Thanks, Bob. Next up is Andre Modica. He is assistant principal here at Maple Point, but he also wears the hat of summer school principal, and he's going to talk about our summer school program and some elementary tutoring opportunities that are part of that opportunity.
Good evening. Good evening. I don't want to echo everything that was said, but as the principal up at the high school, I got to firsthand see some of the things you've already heard about. Summer stock, phenomenal. I can't, in such a short, I know Jan had to leave. Her grandson was giving everyone high fives, so I guess she's giving him a break. But kudos to Jan and all the staffs and the kids. In a matter of just a few short weeks, I don't know how many of you saw either or both productions, but what they did is nothing short of, there are no words to describe. And she's back. Jan, great job with summer stock again. Our elementary students were invited to see the show, the ones at elementary camp, and they just, to see that many munchkins sit quietly and watch and enjoy a show. It was really nice to see. Our STEM programs, again, Kate talked very nicely about it. All I can say about that is those kids, it's already been said, came to school every day excited, can't wait to dive into the robotics and put those programs together. It was, I tried to get down there as much as I could to see that. The forensics, I can recall one day going there and watching them squash strawberries, put them into a little container, add some alcohol, and stick look like a coffee stirrer and pull out DNA from that. And the kids were just like, they didn't even want to take breaks. They just, it was really nice. I wish I could say the same for the summer school makeup students. I can't say that they came every day with the same enthusiasm, and I can't say that they couldn't wait to, or didn't want to go home. However, we did host 79 students, mostly high school. There were probably 8 or 9 middle school students that needed to make up some credits. But out of those 79 students, 67 of them were Neshaminy students, and we had students from Pennsbury, Council Rock, Calvary Christian, one of our cyber schools, Agora, Marsville, and Bucks County Technical High School. So we did service students not only in district but out of district. The makeup program is a 5-week program, and the students have to be there by 7:10 in the morning. We ran 2 sessions. Some of the students took 2 classes, so they were there from 7:10 until about 12 o'clock in the afternoon. And they worked very hard and were highly successful also. Our elementary students also did 5 weeks. Their typical day would be arriving at 8 o'clock at the Black Box Theater, and then they spent roughly an hour and a half in math and an hour and a half in their reading programs. They got a break right in the middle of the day. They too were very excited and enjoyed. Looking at the assessments that were given to those students at the end of the term, it was just so refreshing to see where they were when they took their baseline tests and where they ended up. Each student had significant gains in comprehension reading, in math fact fluency, and also their DIBEL scores indicated that their reading fluency all climbed. We had 2 or 3 students that increased by 200-300% during just the short 5 weeks that they did the elementary camp. The elementary camp is free. There is a criteria. It was mentioned that it's teacher recommended, but they also have a criteria of test scores, various test scores they take during the year. So we're looking to target a specific group, and those children were very successful. So again, it was a pleasure to be there, not only to oversee the makeup program, but to get to see so many of the other things that are happening in Neshaminy, where the students just were so enthusiastic, so engaged, and so successful. Thank you.
Thanks, Andre. And last up is David Jeanette, Supervisor of the Arts, Humanities, and Program Development K-12. And Mr. Jeanette's going to talk about some possibilities that are being considered for next summer. David?
Yes, as we look to personalize options more to meet the needs and the strengths of students, we're researching different blended summer school programs for next year. Some companies that offer online or virtual summer school courses for middle and high school students include the Virtual High School, Edgenuity, EduSeer, Edmentum, Ed Options Academy, and the Keystone School. There are credit recovery options with teachers from these companies, or with some of our teachers receiving training to use the curriculum and instruction materials from the companies. In some cases, courses can be customized to meet student needs, and students may not have to physically report to the high school for summer school each day. So we're looking at some different options for our older students, in terms of personalization. So from what everybody said this evening, certainly we're very proud of the program we had in the summer, and we had a successful summer school program, and we're looking forward to the 61st annual program in 2018.
All right, thank you very much. I appreciate everyone coming out, and again, thank you to Mr. Stanley for putting together our video for that synopsis. Thank you so much.
Mrs. Burns, do we have anybody signed up for public comment?
Yes. Colleen Sheridan?
Okay. We limit it to 3 minutes. Please approach the podium, state your name, area you reside, and your profession.
Thank you, members of the board, for allowing me to speak. My name is Jessica Finn. I am a taxpayer of the Neshaminy School District. I am also here as a representative from Our Lady of Grace School, which is also a school within your district. According to the Neshaminy School District's mission statement, which has been referred to once already this evening, the last line reads that all people have the right to a safe and healthy learning environment. We are here representing Our Lady of Grace School to raise concern as to why private and parochial schools within the district are no longer provided with nursing services on a regular day-to-day basis other than routine screenings. According to the Pennsylvania Department of Health's website, the 1962 legislature passed the School Nurse Act. This act was considered revolutionary at the time because it required equitable services to be provided to students whether they attended public or non-public schools. This law remains in effect today under Section 1402A.1 of the Pennsylvania Public School Code. The Department of Health Regulations states in Section 2351, a child in private, parochial, and public schools shall be provided with school nurse services in the school which the child attends. It further states in Section 2352 that the school nurse services shall be provided through the public school system, and the administration of this services shall be the responsibility of the public school administrator in consultation as needed with the private and parochial school administration. School nurse services are considered to be mandated services. According to contact that we have made with a representative in Harrisburg, the Neshaminy School District has applied for and has received reimbursement for such services. Currently, those services are not being provided to the private and parochial schools within the Neshaminy School District. Specifically speaking tonight in regards to Our Lady of Grace. At this time, we are assessing the medical needs of our students for submission at subsequent meetings. We are here tonight to initiate the dialogue on this issue in hopes that we can come to an agreement in which our needs are met. The safety of our children and the students of Our Lady of Grace and others are being placed at risk. Those with medical conditions such as asthma, food allergies, and those requiring the dispensing of medications throughout the school day, some of which are narcotic in nature, now lie in the hands of untrained office personnel. Those same individuals have jobs of their own to perform throughout the day, leading to inefficient multitasking, creating a greater risk to the health and safety of all the children in the school. We are asking that you review and reconsider the decision made to withdraw nursing staff from the aforementioned schools. We will continue to research in this area and bring new information gathered to the business meeting and as well as the next board meeting later on this month. Thank you for your time, and thanks for letting me speak.
All right, thank you. Items for approval at the next public meeting would be the PSBA slate of officers for 2018. Steve, we discussed that briefly before and we will, yep. Contract with the BCIU, number 22, board investment options and overnight trips. This time, we're going to move to the committee reports. Business operations, Ms. Hollenbeck, please.
The board, the business operations actually met yesterday where we talked about the food services contract as well as some information that we will be voting on next week in regards to the board investment options and the long-range facility plans. Our next meeting is next Tuesday at Monday, 6:30 right here. It is going to be for budget preparation for the following year, so anybody is welcome to come out.
Educational Development, Policy, and IU Board. Ms. Boyle, please. You got all the next three, so we'll let you run right through them.
Okay, the next Educational Development meeting is going to be October 17th. We're going to discuss new initiatives, and that's at 6:30 in the boardroom. Policy is going to be October 3rd. We're going to talk about the PSBA conversion, and that's also at 6:30. And the next IU meeting is actually September 19th, and that's in Doylestown. Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Boyle. The Neshaminy Education Foundation, Mr. Feather, please.
The Neshaminy Education Foundation held its first meeting of the school year at Bertucci's in August, and their first business meeting at Maple Point yesterday. On the agenda was the annual budget report, discussions of upcoming fundraisers, and the changes to the NEF grant program and scholarships. The board agreed to increase the scholarship amount to 3 $1,000 scholarships instead of the current 5 $500 scholarships in order to increase interest and help defray the rising costs of college tuition and supplies for each recipient. Foundation board members were present at the teacher convocation on August 28th and are pleased to report that several new donors were recruited. 2 Amazon Smile gift cards worth $50 each for school supplies were raffled to 2 lucky teachers who are current NEF donors. The foundation is forming an alumni committee to promote participation with the foundation and with district activities. Anybody who might be interested in joining this committee can contact the NEF through their website at www.neshaminy.org/NEF or speak with any NEF board member. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We're going to move to the PSBA. Mr. Parentano, please.
Thank you, Mr. Congdon. As Mr. Congdon previously mentioned, in your packet you have a slate of candidates for this year's PSBA elections. You can go on the PSBA website and view some of the candidates. They have a live testimonial on there asking for your vote. If you have a candidate of choice, please convey it to me. I will work with Mr. Jones to make sure that the district has a proper slate available to our members to vote on. In your communication on the list of candidates, the ones with an asterisk are the ones that are recommended by the executive panel of the PSBA. So if you can get that info to me, I'll make sure I work with Mr. Jones to finalize that. Lastly, the PSBA is still working diligently with the legislature and the governor's office to finalize the budget. While Mr. Jones can add to this if he wants, the budget was passed, but the funding was not codified. So they're working to still codify the funding, which can affect us very negatively if they don't do it the right way. So I don't know if you want to add anything to that, Mr. Jones.
The legislature's back in session after about a 7-week hiatus for the summer. So this week they're back, and there's talk of them taking up this topic today through the balance of this week, maybe going into the weekend. But you're right, they haven't done the revenue side of the budget. It's kind of hard to believe that they can pass a budget without the revenue side being resolved. But there are different approaches still being proposed in terms of how they're going to address that. And obviously the problem and concern is that, like a couple of years ago, when revenue stopped coming to school districts, the concern would be the governor has threatened that if they don't have something resolved, that they really have to be careful about then sending money out without really knowing where it's coming from. So we're hopeful that they're going to have a resolution soon.
Tech School, Mr. Rudy, please.
Okay, yeah. The Tech Board met August 28th. They conducted routine business with nothing noteworthy to report. However, since then, I have attended a authority meeting, which met last week, and unanimously voted to borrow up to $30 million for improvements to the tech school. Although only $27 million is actually budgeted. So, a scope of the work will be presented to the board and public, presumably in October. It will be up to the board members of the 6 sending schools to then approve this project. Our next meeting will be September 25th, 7:30 in the tech boardroom. That's my report. Any questions?
Yeah, you said they're 30 million. What kind of improvements are they going to do?
They're doing, the scope of the work is a new roof, HVAC. About 80% of the building does not have air conditioning. They will put that in. There's also a gym, a new gym will be constructed. So they're the 3 big items, ticket items. The initial budget was for, scope of the work was $45 million, so it's been pared down to $27 million at this point. So seems to be more in line, and I think from what I'm hearing the other board members, it seems to be favorable response.
Okay.
Anybody else? Thank you.
No, thank you, Ron, for that. And I guess something that we need to look into. Tawanka was a $30 million project, was a complete new school. I'd be interested to see the gym and the
Right.
HVAC plans and all that as well.
Well, it's a
before-
much larger building.
Oh, I understand. I understand.
Just to clarify, when you said they're going to present to the boards here, right? So they'll be here.
Yeah, they are going to present to the 6 sending districts a scope of the work. They will be here, and then we'll have those the board members of those districts will vote.
Nice. Thank you, Ron. All right, at this time, we're going to go to our second public comment. We didn't have sign-ups for this, but if you'd like to speak again, once again, we limit it to 3 minutes. State your name, area you reside, your profession, and please no personal attacks, and you can approach the podium if you'd like to speak again. Or speak for the first time. No one's running up the aisle? Okay. Future topics, anybody have any future topics they'd like to bring up at this point in time? Okay, there be none. Board comment.
I, too, want to welcome all our teachers and students back to the school year. Hopefully you have a great 2017-2018 school year. I appreciate all the work that everybody did to get the schools ready. I don't want to say unfortunately, but this year it was very cool for the opening of the schools, where last year it was like July, so we didn't get a real chance to test out the performance of the new system at Miller and the revamped system at Pearl Buck, but hopefully if there's a need, they'll perform as they were designed to perform and keep our kids and our staff very comfortable in their learning environment. To the parents that came up about the school nurse issue, I did communicate back by email with some of your contacts. I appreciate the way in which you're approaching the matter and bringing it to the board. And as I explained in my communication, it's it's a budgeting issue. Budget meetings starting next week. That might be a good meeting to come to as well. Like everybody else. This district's under tremendous pressure. Pension is the number one issue. 2011, 2012, we were about $6 million. Today we're somewhere north of $25 million. By 2020, we'll be up to $30 million. We are literally down to squeezing pennies. I know that doesn't make you feel any better, but hopefully, we can work and find a solution, and I hope that you're trying to find other solutions as well within the school you're at as well. So thank you for bringing the issue to us, and hopefully we can work together and try and find a solution. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Mr. Jones, did you or anybody else have anything to add? All right. With that being said, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting. Can I get a second, please? Mr. Sullivan with the second. Thank you, Mr. Sullivan. All in favor? Thank you, everyone, and good night.